Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my two favorite people to talk about Survivor with. Up top, we have Jonathan. How are you doing today, Jonathan?
Very good, thank you.
That's great to hear. And Jojo, how are you doing down there?
Well, I'm doing great. Just banished to the car, but I really think we need to celebrate
Serenade?
the belated birthday boy.
Who? Jonathan?
Could it be his birthday yesterday of all
Well,
days?
yes, I heard this. It's also Rob Sesternino's birthday. You are birthday twins
Ooh.
with another reality TV person.
Love
So
it.
we're gonna sing you happy birthday, Jonathan. You
Yeah.
ready for it?
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
to you. Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
Jonathan.
Ooh.
Happy birthday to you.
Very good.
We were trying to get it in sync there for you.
I
Thank
think
you
there was a
very
delay.
much.
We were both trying to follow each other. I'm like, no.
It's like that SNL skit with
Kristen
where they
Wiig's
kinda-
and yeah. It's a good
Well,
one.
how did you enjoy your birthday yesterday, Jonathan?
I relaxed. That's
Good.
being an introvert. I'm kind of just more of just time to myself. Don't have to do anything. Don't have plans. It's very nice. So
Perfect.
yeah, and we're gonna do a game within a game. Everyone has to guess how old I am. So oh, thank you, Dolores.
Hi, Dolores. Dolores says, happy birthday to the fabulous Jonathan. Sorry, we are a little late on it.
Dolores.
Jonathan, looking good. Balloon, 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 balloon. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Very cute. Thank you, Dolores.
If you get my age right, you win my love, and that's it.
Ooh.
Adoration.
Amazing. Actually, Jonathan and I have been talking about like Taskmaster Canada, but I think, Jonathan, maybe we should put one on. Maybe we should do like a Taskmaster series online. What do you think about that?
Like an org one?
Yeah.
Like a proof of concept almost?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I kind of want to do it. Like, I think it would be kind of fun, and like I would like to see people doing these challenges. And I don't know, could that be the birthday present for anyone that guesses your age, that we actually put on Taskmaster?
It could be a contestant, absolutely. It'd be a lot of fun, and it wouldn't even be like, it's very feasible as far as budget and everything else, and obtaining locations and things like that. So,
And we'd get our favorite people like Jojo to
I'll play.
be
Yes.
the play. Exactly.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, we should do it now before Cheesecake is over. We can steal all their people. Kidding. You didn't hear me say that. We're talking about Survivor today, which was a fun little episode, The Strategist or The Loyalist. And it starts off with the Yua tribe. And Shan's like, I can't believe we freaking got to day 10. And I'm just kind of like, this is weak sauce to me. I know Jeff has been promising this is going to be the hardest season forever, and it's fast paced and like the monster. And I'm kind of like,
yeah, it sounded a little weird, but then I was like, well, wait, it's a lot less days now than it was. So, I mean,
day 10, like it's a week in and you're halfway done. Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, you're like almost halfway there. So it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, if it was still 39 days and you're like day 10, I'd be like, what are you talking about? But it did sound.
Sorry, I just got intercepted by a comment here that I'm salivating on over already. Hi, Natalie. Natalie says that Boston Rob is rumored to be on Celebrity Big Brother. This makes me salivate. Jonathan, are you not excited? Or you're not a Boston Rob fan? I'll kill you.
I'm not.
Won't kill you. It's your birthday.
I'm not a Boston Rob fan, but I'm also not a Boston Rob fan. So I'm like, I'm indifferent. But I think it'd be really interesting because, um, I mean, I feel like it's a totally different skill set at the same time, and I would love to see how that would play out, especially because everyone, I'm assuming, would know,
Who he is.
his background and just kind of like what he's done and how he's won, his wife's won, he's played so, you know what I mean? Like I think that would all come out. Like someone in the house would be a Survivor fan for sure and know everything about him. So very interesting. I mean, I'd love to watch it.
What if it's like Boston Rob and Todrick Hall, like final two? Like, I mean, I just want to see these seasons with people that are fans of strategy games. So I would love this, Natalie. Are you into it or are you not into it, guys? In the chat, people?
I mean, I'd personally prefer to see a all Survivor Big Brother edition than just
Ooh.
have Boston Rob show up.
But okay, the reason why I'd rather, obviously I'd love to watch that. That'd be super fun. But I want to see kind of like what Jonathan is saying is how those skills transfer into the Big Brother world where they're not with people that know how to play Survivor. So it just would be a little bit more equal in the sense that like he doesn't really know anybody that has played that style of game before. So that's the only reason why I would like to see him without any other Survivor people.
It's like when
ahead.
Courtney Act was in Celebrity Big Brother, obviously not the US version, but it was like, oh, you're having someone who's been in reality television in several different ways play something totally different. It's seeing how it's going to translate for me is half the fun, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll watch a celebrity or a Survivor edition of Big Brother any day. That would be fantastic. I'd watch a Survivor edition of the challenge any day. Like there's just like I would love that. But for the celebrity one, just having Rob there just to see how he would fare, I'd be very interested to see if he is good all around at like all these kind of strategy games.
I mean, I'd prefer Rob has a podcast, Rob, personally.
Well, he actually originally auditioned for Big Brother. That was his original intention, and then he got cast for Survivor. So he wasn't really a fan of Survivor specifically to be going on it. He didn't apply, apparently.
Cute. I like that.
So yes, he is a Big Brother person for sure, but now he's become a Survivor person because of his experience. Hi, Adrian. So just rumors, by the way. I don't know if it's confirmed yet. All right, it's okay. Whitney. Hi, Whitney. Thanks for being here. Why Boston Rob? Call Sandra. I want to see her react to Big Brother's super camp and with pure disdain. I mean, I would love to see Sandra, of course.
Sandra's busy right now, Whitney.
What's that? Oh yeah, Sandra is busy.
Sandra, I want to see in everything because I'm such a Sandra fan. So like, she's my.
She's your queen.
I guess I don't know. Like, yeah.
It's not a secret though, right, Jojo? You can remind me what Sandra's playing right now.
Yeah. Sandra's playing in the Blood versus Water edition of Australia's Survivor.
So
she's filming right now.
So fun. I can't wait to see that. I really hope she does better than Russell did on Australia.
I think she will.
I want to see. What if she's a 3-time winner? That'd be nutsorama. Nutso.
Fingers crossed.
Imagine Boston Rob and Tiffany Pollard.
Yes, imagine
being
that.
Like
and Tiffany beats him at the end.
I will also watch Tiffany in anything.
Yeah,
it's true.
Gladly.
Laura says, I think right now we're going to hear a lot of rumors. I think celebrities push those rumors out there so they can be considered. But I may be a little cynical on that. Well, Boston Rob, I wouldn't be surprised if he took that up because he did just hurt his hand. So I'm wondering if he's like kind of out of commission for being able to do any other things. And so sitting in a house and recovering in Big Brother and maybe win $750,000, like pretty good.
Yeah, that is very true though. PR definitely put names out there in order to, it's like fishing. So you try to gain that traction and then almost get placed in something because of the fandom behind it. So I've seen it before. I've definitely been kind of attached to certain things that have been cast that way, so yeah, it's very true.
And I don't know if it's just like another one of those similar rumors, but I heard that Johnny Bananas has been considered again to be going Celebrity Big Brother. he was on the list. I heard of Todrick, maybe. Rumors, obviously. Now Boston Rob. I like that rumor. Rumored Tiffany Pollard as well. Any other rumors that we've heard?
Just that didn't Johnny Bananas cheat on his? Anyway, that's something else. But and he just cheated.
The iCarly girl, whoever that actress is, iCarly. She's rumored all the time too. She's a huge Big Brother fan.
If she's a fan, that's fine, but I have no idea what iCarly is.
You know that meme where she's like
Disney.
sitting there, some Disney show, and then it like just got rebooted.
I mean, I know what the logo looks like. You know what I mean? And like I've seen it on, I don't know, Paramount Plus or Netflix or something. I've seen like all season streaming, but I've never watched a season. I don't know who the star is.
I don't watch it either, but I know her to see her. She's a fan. Sam.
Hello, Sam. I would low key like to see how Courtney Yates would do. My phone is ringing. That's not good. Sorry. Would be excited for the diary rooms. Yes, I think that she would be fun. Wait, Courtney Yates is from The Circle, correct? Or am I thinking of different Courtney? Or the Survivor?
Courtney, from China in Heroes versus Villains.
Blonde, quite thin? Okay.
Yeah.
That blue hair is excellent.
Sam's hair.
Ooh. Let me just say. Yeah.
Also being on the cast doesn't mean you're playing the game. Looking at you, Anthony Scaramucci. Whitney will not let the man rest. I mean, that was really annoying. It was bad. Also, Chantele, did you see the rumored All-Star 3 cast? Yes, I have seen the rumored All-Star 3 cast. It looks fun. It looks like we have Jordan coming back into the game. We have Wes maybe coming back into the game. Ooh. And some other golden oldies that might be stepping back into the Challenge All-Star world, which is exciting. Clay Aiken! Whitney says,
two-time runner-up
is rumor that's out there. Wow. Miranda Cosgrove, is that the iCarly person?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Ruben Studdard.
I'm too old to know who this is. I don't have any younger siblings that would like watch iCarly. Hurricane Naya, I'm so excited. So yes, Naya and Jordan will be rumored to be on season 3. Kellyanne, yes, you know Kellyanne. Oh, wait, Conway.
Conway.
Sorry, I was thinking of Kellyanne for the challenge, which she is supposed to be on season 3 as well. But Kellyanne Conway, okay, and political, right? She's political, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to this episode, though. You can still place the rumored cast in there. We might talk about them later. I think that's also really fun. So Jeannie is talking a lot about how she feels solid with Shan and Ricard. And I'm just kind of like, really, Jeannie? Like, I know that they saved you and they didn't take you out this round, but it's because they can trust you, I think. You know, like, it's just like they feel like they're not scared of you. They're not anticipating you duping them. And so they kept you. That's why I think they kept you, her. But she is so confident in her relationship with Shannon Ricard that she decides to go out and search for the idol and let them know that she's doing this, finds the idol, and runs back and tells them about it. Jojo, what do you think about this tactic of Jeannie's?
I don't mind that she found it and told them about it, but I don't think she should have let them see it. Like, just say, I found it. Leave it where it was, go back and say, like, this is all the info. What do you think we should do? I don't know if showing them was the right move. I think talking about it is fine. But
what about you,
as soon as
No, I mean, know your surroundings, be self-aware. How can you not see that they've been with each other since the beginning, and no matter what they're selling you, it's not true? I mean, at the same time, like, you know, if they lose or anything like that, I would also be rolling my dice if I was her. So it would just be like, no, I wouldn't tell them. I would hide it for myself. If you're on a tribe of 3 people, even if you think you are close with anything could happen, you need, you know, those aces up your sleeve just in case.
Yeah.
I personally would have kept it to myself. Perhaps at, like, if there was a merger or swap or something, then claim that I've found something, or if I need to say it. But no, I would just kind of try to keep what I can to myself and be like, look. And I think anyone would be understanding. I'd be like, look, there's only 3 of us. So, there's not much room here to really breathe. I would be keeping my cards very close to my chest.
Yeah, I mean, I would try to be as transparent as possible, but I just don't know if I would tell them about it because it doesn't really help them if or it doesn't help her if you guys were to lose again, right? Unless they don't know about it. Or I mean, it's also the stupid idol. It's the beware idol where you have like the 3. I mean, it played out pretty well today, not gonna lie, but like the fact that everybody's gonna know that you have this idol with this phrase that you have to share. I guess then also maybe I can agree with you a little bit, Jojo, here that like, okay, maybe letting them know because like if you did activate it and you said the phrase, they're going to know that you have it anyways, and then they're going to try to get it from you. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I would have told them immediately because like if I was Shan and I found it, I would tell Ricard. If I was Ricard and found it, I would tell Shan. But if I was Jeannie, I don't know if I'm going to go tell those 2 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the 3 of them going into the immunity should have felt really confident. I don't think they were the weakest trio. So what are the chances that they're going to be going to tribal again? That's why
I thought immediately they were going to go to tribal again. I just felt that. I did.
Oof.
I did because every other tribe could pick and choose like their ultimate combo of people to be playing in this particular challenge, and they have to just choose who they are. But like we kind of, Jonathan and I were kind of validated in our thoughts that it was not a good idea to tell Shan and Ricard because immediately Shan's like, I want that idol. She wants that idol, and we start hearing them actually. I don't know what the word is. They compose a version of do 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 do.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, like you just saw how they played Jade. Like like it would be different if, like, let's say this was their first. They started off as a trio, and this is the first time, kind of, having to be sneakier. You haven't seen that before. You've seen them play people before, and I'm just like, what they're capable of, and what stories have been sold, and people have bought it. So you have to be extra careful with that kind of stuff. And I was just like, I mean, I wasn't expecting any different. I was expecting them to plot. I was expecting Jeannie to buy it. I was.
I was just like, I'm like, Shan, right away. I'm like, I just was getting worried for her. It's very fun to watch, but like I was just nervous. I'm like, I don't know if you should be going so hard for this. So Ricard doesn't trust Jeannie. They're playing Shan's music, and they decide that they're gonna go and they're gonna open it, see what it is, and they're going to put in a fake idol maybe in there. And I'm like, oh my God, if we're getting into fake idol territory, like this might be messy. So I was very nervous for Shan. So because they did this, because Shan will most likely lose her vote if the 3rd person at Luvu doesn't find that idol and says the activating phrase, she will not have a vote. So she gave the extra vote to Ricard in case they're going to need to have 2 votes on their side. So it was just like, I was just so nervous about this whole scenario completely. So then Ricard decides to convince Jeannie that Shan, who has the idol now that Jeannie doesn't know about, that Jeannie found and told him about, tell her, Shan should just like say the inactive phrase just to see if Luvu found the phrase. And Jeannie's like, oh, great plan. So good. Aw, what do you think about this for Jeannie, Jojo?
I loved it. I did. I loved it. I didn't necessarily think the 3 of them were in trouble for the next community challenge, but at the same time, it was a nice moment before the inevitable.
And they like worked it all in there really nicely, like how it was said. They thought it out. Like I think Shan and Ricard are playing it like kind of almost like messy and sloppy. I'm like, yes. And if they play that any sort of like that way in a merge, I think it can bite them in the butt real quick. But it was smart. It worked out in their favor this time around. So, I mean, kudos. But it was a lot. It was a lot for that.
For Genie, like to do Genie. Like, did they need to go through all this effort? You know what I mean? Like, it was fun to watch. It was interesting, of course. But like, did you really need to do that? Because no matter what, she can't really do anything against you two, right?
Except the shot in the dark.
Oh, that's true.
And I think that's the underlining, like, play everything so safe and so hard because you never know if someone's going to do that right before,
I want someone to do it. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm going to do it now.
Well, so far, I mean, this is a bust of a twist. So far, there's been 6 people that have gone out, and nobody has used the shot in the dark. Like
I said, I still don't think it is a bust because I think you play differently because it's there. I just I think half of it is not even playing it, just the threat of it. But like I said before, but do I want to see someone play it now? I'm like dying to see someone play. I'm like, how are you not in a 1 out of 3 person chance of going home and not using it? I'm like, that would be crazy for me.
I want like 4 people playing it at once. I want just
everyone talking and no one certain and everyone rolling. Absolutely, yeah, me too. Maybe.
But like the thing is, though, I can see it now that with that 16.7% chance of like getting the idol, nobody's gonna land. It's not gonna land on it. It's just not. Like I've had 50-50 played on me twice in these games, and both times they were flops. So
same with me. I've done a 50-50 on myself, and it was a flop as well. So
like 17%, like flop. It's not gonna. I mean, unless they have it weighted and they just force it to get it.
Like everyone rolls, and then only one person's left to vote, and they Siri themselves out of the game because they didn't roll or something. Who knows?
Oh. So Whitney had said the fact that we went 15 minutes without talking about Survivor says everything you need to know about the production of the season. Do we agree or disagree with this statement?
14 minutes, but yeah, I agree. No, it was just very. I like this season. I mean, it's very different. It's edited differently. It's like we kind of skipped over the challenge even because it was just so much drama on one particular island, like on one particular, team. So yeah, I thought there was a lot in this episode, yet not a lot at the same time, but there was just a lot of strategy and little plays against each other.
I mean, I am dragging it through. Like I do have a couple pages of notes, but it definitely, I felt that there wasn't that much going on in this episode. You know what I mean? Like it was enjoyable. I am enjoying this season. It's not fully Survivor like I like it. I'm not really, I don't get excited about people finding idols and stuff like that. So it's just, we talked about it last week, I believe, but like the luck element is making me not really as excited about the show, but it's still fun.
I want the games to change a little bit because they're very do 3 or 4 different things, get to the end and solve a puzzle or hit down something or land a hoop and something it's the exact same thing, just different versions of the exact same thing. And so I want the games to be more like, let's wrestle in the sand for this thing, or just something different. Like you can.
The one that I like the most is when they're running in a circle trying to catch the other team, and they have like the weighted bags, and then like the tide is coming up. Like that one's always like I find it lasts a long time, and I usually think it's a good one. So maybe they'll do it next episode, something like that, or old school.
I'd say my favorite, like my rankings, would be episode 4, then episode 5, then episode 1, then 2, then 3. Episode 3 was my least favorite.
I don't remember any of the episodes, but I remember last week was my favorite episode this season because it was, there was no idols and advantages really, and it was just like, it was just fun gameplay, and we got to see a reward challenge. So Jonathan, were you upset? Oh, and we'll get to that in 1 second. So Luvu, we go over to Luvu tribe and we see Sydney making a little bit of an appearance here, and she's fishing and she feels like she's in her element. And it's just so weird because I find that I don't mind her. And so I'm just wondering why she doesn't seem to get along with half of her tribe. Because she seems like Sydney. You're Sydney, your girl?
she's drafted. I'm drafted I drafted her. So yeah, I mean, I was glad to see her because I'm like, oh, good, you're providing for your team, so they want to. Hopefully, that makes them want to keep you. But I don't. It's weird. I don't know why that edit necessarily was there. I was like a little bit worried for my blue team overall, but yeah, I'm glad she's useful to them at the very least.
Yes, 9 fish. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I don't think
Damn
we've
good.
seen any women um, in the past few seasons, at least, that have caught fish. Has that been a thing ever?
Ooh.
I remember.
I mean, it doesn't ring a bell. It's usually like the Aussie or the whatever or the Tom.
Joe, the Malcolm.
Yeah, I think that whole thing was like a red herring though, because they were really kind of building up like maybe they will go, maybe there will be the Erica plan, maybe they'll throw it. Like they were teasing a little bit of it, but never really dug any further or that deep into it. So
Well, Danny and Deshaun were kind of getting worried about the fact that there's an impeding merge that's going to happen, and the men were going to be down in the numbers. So they are really even further considering throwing this next immunity challenge. And then Nasir comes along, and they kind of rope him in, but he's not really in with the plan. But he's happy that he's being talked to. Who has Nasir? Do either of you have Nasir? No, you don't, Jojo. You don't. I don't think I do. No.
Ron.
So how do you feel about Nasir's place in this tribe right now?
well, I just have to talk about that editing because I feel like that was fresh for Survivor. That whole like reveal afterwards that something happened before.
Wait, that's later. That's later.
Loved it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. So Nasir, in general, like Nasir prior to that whole thing, I was like, whatever. But now Nasir, it's all about the edit and what kind of edit you get. And so I was like, okay, all right. Nasir's really kind of getting up there with his placement in this game. So
I wasn't that surprised, to be honest, because as soon as the music turned and Nasir started to speak, I was like, yep. Like, obviously they're doing this. They're not going to randomly
beforehand.
Shit.
We're almost there, but I'm just talking about like when he walked up to Deshaun and Danny and was like, being like rolled into the plan, and he was like feeling happy to be included. And so I just have not really seen him be included in this game so far. And so at this point,
because like last week I talked about, I'm like, how would they know? Because there's really only 3 of them. The other 3 could do the same thing. I'm assuming that they need to include the others, and they haven't that I've seen, like Heather and to get Erica out. So this was maybe more of that. So I was seeing it and I was like, okay, they are including Nasir to try to get out potentially Erica. So it was just it was an extra piece to that puzzle, because I was like, there's only 3 of you that necessarily want Erica out. So you need more than just that. And we hadn't seen any footage of them including the others. So that was a little bit of that for me.
Yeah.
Well, and about that though, how they just kind of laid it out there, like they didn't even have any care of whether or not Nasir might not agree with that. And like I could easily have seen Nasir go back to Erica and be like, hey, they're plotting against you, and like spill that information. So how they didn't really handle it with care, in my opinion. And I'm worried that Nasir, once say a merge comes, uses that information with Erica, and those 2 guys are going to be in the hot seat or like be willing to be thrown into the bus.
I wonder if we just haven't seen it, and if they've talked about it previously a little bit more, and we're just seeing tidbits of it. And who knows? I'm like, it could have been a conversation that they've already had, and this is just kind of being brought up again. So it's hard to say. But he didn't seem to. I mean, also, like, are you gonna really put yourself out there for Erica, who potentially has no power, when it seems like all the other ones do? I don't know.
So this is from a little bit before, but Adrian says, it honestly astounds me that Jeannie trusts the 2 after both tribals. Absolutely. Like, it's just like, Jeannie, I know that you're happy to be there, but like,
that's what I was saying. I'm like, you saw what they have done. Yeah, you saw what they've done. So you know what they're capable of.
Whitney says, men are so constantly afraid of a women's alliance, which has happened successfully twice ever without tribes being predetermined along those lines. Okay, so when were those 2 times? So one's, I guess, was like the
Black Widow Brigade.
Was that Micronesia?
Yep.
And I don't even remember the other time. It must have been like another Parvati Amanda type deal, I guess. That's the only one I can think of, though. It's the Black Widow Brigade.
Hold on, I have a terrible memory. So which one was that? Well, the
That's
one
the
like
one with the fucking
16.
stick.
wait, what about when Eric
3.
gave back the
That's
sword?
that season. That
That's
season.
That one? Okay,
Mhm.
that's the only one I can think of.
Me too. Whitney, you can enlighten us though if there's the other one. Laura says this year was in the beginning low, then higher. It's like a roller coaster, but I really like his enthusiasm. This year wants to play the game. True. So back at Yase, we see Evie talking to Xander. We haven't really seen this tribe in a little while. They're doing a little bit of a walk and talk, and Evie is just really happy about the fact that like she feels like she has Xander wrapped around her finger, and that that Xander thinks that she is his number one. And so at the same time, Tiffany is talking about how she doesn't really trust, the relationship that's going on with Xander and Evie. And so she's telling this to Liana, and they decide to go through Xander's bag. So Jojo, Tiffany's your girl. You're riding high for Tiffany.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fact that she's scared of Xander? I don't know why I'd be scared of Xander. And B, about sending Liana to go rummage through his bag to see what he has.
Absolutely. I would be rooting through everyone's everything. I'd be looking for piles of leaves and trying to find holes that were dug up. I don't think there's anything wrong with going through people's shit during Survivor. No. Root away.
Do you agree, Jonathan?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So the rules are you can't steal it if you find anything, but you can absolutely look through it. Yeah. And at the same time, I thought for Tiffany, to her credit, there's a lot more controlled chaos. Like it's like I want to do something, but it wasn't as manic as we first saw. There wasn't that panic there that we saw in the first episode or two. So I was like, yes, this is how you need to play. You're building that relationship with one person by saying, hey, let's together do this and investigate. And Tiffany's focus is not on you, it's on him. So you know what I mean? I think it's building trust, and it's very kind of controlled kind of chaos. So you're aware of kind of what she's doing, and if you are aware of what she's doing, then you trust her. And they're all on the same kind of like girls kind of alliance potentially, so against Xander. So
well, Tiffany definitely chose the right person to do this because Liana is quite wary of Xander. And so she was like, yep, I'll go do it. I was like, I would have at least thought about it for a second. Like, ooh, what if I get caught? Like, do I feel right about this? I would have like a moment of like, what?
Didn't she say like,
quick,
yes,
quick.
thank you? She was like, yes, thank you. Like she was waiting for
Permission.
She was waiting for permission to go and search that bag. And she does find, obviously, as we know, that he has an extra vote or steal a vote, extra vote. He has that, at this time, not active idol. So Xander, though, he kind of thinks to himself that like maybe he needs to bring in Tiffany into his fold. And like he feels that Tiffany's kind of a swing vote. He also doesn't trust Liana, which I think is interesting. I want to know where the distrust happened, because I would think that they're around the same age, that they would want to be working together. So it's very interesting that they are both kind of against each other. But Xander decides to tell Tiffany about the idol and like showing him all the stuff. And she is just rolling her eyes to the camera and playing dumb. And he's lying about the idol and saying that he found it today, when she's like, oh, but like, didn't you already say that phrase like, I don't know, twice, like the last 4 days? And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, actually I did. And he didn't even lie to cover his lie well. Jojo, shaking your head.
Yeah, I mean, it was Evie's idea for him to tell Liana and Tiffany. Then he said, you know what, I'm just going to tell Tiffany. I don't want to tell them both. When it could have been like a tribal, like, hey, you two, us four, we're going strong, we're being honest. Let's do this. Instead, he went from lie to getting caught to not keeping his story straight. All the papers were just coming up. She sees the extra vote. Like, she should have called him out on that, but like, you have an extra vote too? Okay, good to know. But I thought Tiffany was hilarious this episode, and it showed maybe a side to her we haven't seen yet.
The eye rolling to the camera, breaking the fourth wall
Yeah,
there.
I mean, like, that was all fun, but I mean, like, she was telling us in the confessional, like, what her thoughts were, but still playing, but we were seeing her play those thoughts instead.
What did you think about Xander seemed trying to read Tiffany, being like she works with, I think, delinquent students or teenagers, and so her job is to forgive. So she feels as though he feels as though she is going to forgive him no matter what because this is her job, and she's basically like, I don't care, I don't forgive him for nothing. So Jonathan, what do you think about Xander's take on how he expected Tiffany to react?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a justification after the fact. Like he was like trying to say like, oh well, because he screwed up, and so it's just like, well, maybe this she'll forgive me because of this, that, and the other thing. So it just felt like it was kind of rationalizing why it's not a catastrophe for him, but it was.
Laura says Tiffany was doing it right in front of him. How did he not see that? I don't know how he did not see that at all. Before we get to the challenge, that fun challenge, or the beginning of it was fun, anyways. Adrian says that same Whitney. I'm so tired of the hypocrisy from male players who are afraid of a women's alliance, while a guy's alliance is rarely sniffed out. Well, I mean, guys are allowed to play together without it being a guy's alliance, and women are not allowed to play together without it being considered dangerous in a women's alliance. So it's just I don't even understand why that it is the way that it is.
Yeah, did people like not see Survivor 9? Like, what can happen if you have a full female alliance and you're a male playing the game? Play the female alliance. Play them against one another. It's the same thing as if there was. We've seen plenty of times where in the final 6 there's been one female, but they've made it to the end and they've won the game. So I think it doesn't matter gender realistically, but the misogyny is alive and well in 2021, as we know from Big Brother 23.
Oh, you had to go there, huh, Jojo?
I did. Yep.
Stab me in the heart. Do you have any thoughts about misogyny, Jonathan, before we move on?
I mean, of course, we live and it's alive and real, and yeah, and I agree with Jojo. It's like if you are the odd person out, then your likelihood of making it even further is better. So I mean, I always want to be in a women's alliance. I mean, that would be my thing. I'd be like absolutely teaming up with all the women. So yeah.
I mean, it doesn't always happen, but I always want to work with women. It's usually like my ideal plan. Okay, so Whitney says Co-Wrong and Micronesia. Which one's Co-Wrong? I get Co-Wrong and Tony season and Brains Beauty Braun season mixed up. Which one's Co-Wrong?
Is that was that Michelle, Sydney, Audrey, and Ty?
Okay, so that's Co-Wrong. And what's Tony Vlachos' first season called? It sounds like Co-Wrong. Anyways,
I don't know.
Guys. But anyway, so Co-Wrong is Brain versus Beauty versus Braun, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Okay, who is the top gamer, Ricard or Shan?
I have an answer because
should we talk about this now, or should we wait till the end of the episode?
Now, let's do it.
Okay, go.
Well, my answer actually, like right now in this moment, is, I mean, define gamer, but like Ricard, I think, is in a better position because Shan is putting herself out there so much that I think she's a little bit more of a shield. And I think he is more, I don't know, I just think he would be more absorbed into other groups than necessarily she would. Although we did see her make a connection, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But I still think that he's in a better position than she is just because of how the play is going. And I don't know, just seemingly the edit as well. Having said that, as far as like who's, he claims he's the one who's thinking up all these ideas and she's the closer. You need both. You need the ability to come up with these ideas and the ability to play them out as well. So if you're incapable of that, if she decides to be to cut you off, then you're left with a bunch of ideas and you can't put them into place. So then she's the better gamer and person in the game. I don't know. I think together they make a really strong team, and if they stick with that, and luck is on their side, I can absolutely see them in the end, and she will win. But if people go after them, I feel like she'll go before him. So I don't know. They're both really strong.
I think it's the likability factor too. At this point, I feel like people are more drawn to Shan in general. So if there was a classic merge happening in the next episode, I don't think either of them would be the top people targeted. But if it was between the two, I could see Ricard going before Shan. They're not aware of how great of players these two are when it comes down to it. And they can just say, like, we've stuck together this entire time. They're allowed to say that at this point, being the last two members. They don't have to say, like, we're incredible strategists and have slayed the rest of our tribe in these million ways.
But don't you think they'd be worried about them? Because, like, they're like, oh, you've survived 4 other people in your team going. I would look at those 2 people as, like, dangerous. Get them out.
Yeah, they
like, but should. I would be like, ooh, 2 people, that's 2 numbers. They're gonna probably like vote together. Let me just get that, like, you know, those 2 people to vote with me. So I would be looking at them as tasty duo to bring into whatever I was working on. So I think that they're going to be fine. I think that
right to the end.
It's going to depend on who's going to turn on whom first. And it seems from like this episode that Shan is already slightly thrown him under the bus. So regardless of whether or not like what she ends up saying to Liana is like, if I'm not here on day 12, like Ricard is a snake, he turned on me. I think just even putting that into Liana's mind anyways, is that he might have to be watched, might not have to be trusted. I do think that will still percolate a little bit, and like that will allow her to have more favor with Liana. So I think that Shan's playing a little bit more better of a game, but I do appreciate that Ricard is making up these ideas and Shan is able to execute them. So pretty even, but I think that Shan has a slight edge here, especially because what you said, Jonathan, is that in the final 2, Shan would most likely take the win. That's why I'm going to give her the edge.
For sure. I want to see them go to tribal again.
Just the 2 of them.
What do they do? What happens? They have to.
Well, you like everything happens. You roll the die. You do whatever. You
fire making.
Like you can't kill everything. It's just like, okay, you have to just give all your advantages and idols, and you both stay.
Yeah.
Stupid. Okay, so Whitney says that Tony is Cagayan. Okay, yeah, Ko wrong and Cagayan. I'm like, they sound the same to me. Got it. Thank you. I will say, I think a women's alliance is more dangerous because of the breeder men are just too emotional. Okay. I don't know. Like, are they too emotional? Playing too emotionally? Is that why? Like, why is it that they can't seem to figure out how to work with the women as opposed to fearing them? I don't know. We'll see. So I'm really on a misogyny streak today, if you can't tell. That's okay, Whitney. It's allowed to happen every once in a while. Dolores has a feeling that they're going to be split up in the next episode, and it's only going to be 2 teams. Yes, we're going to get to what we think is going to be happening next episode very shortly. So we get to the challenge. And at the challenge, Ricard kind of lays out the groundwork. Like, they're definitely very good at improv here. About like, oh my God. And so Shan says her wackadoodle line and he lobs it over to Xander and being like, and you were saying that crazy thing about butterflies. Like, actually, no, I didn't say it. I mean, about ladybugs. And actually, I said something about butterflies. And so quiet for a second. And then your part where you want to come in, Jojo, you can go on. You can take over.
Oh, I just wasn't surprised because we haven't seen much of their tribe. So I don't feel like the editors needed to show us Nasir finding it the day before. So it was a great surprise in general, but I wasn't surprised. I thought like, okay, yeah, it's been found. Good time to tell us.
So when they panned over to Nasir, I actually screamed because it was so,
it was cute.
He was so awkward and cute. And he's like, well, actually, Jeff, and like, he would be the least likely person I would think to say anything about goats on AstroTurf. And
Yeah.
so the fact that is trying to come out and it was just so awkward. And like, I think everybody was surprised that he had the third phrase and they're just like,
Okay.
like
It was
so
very
excited.
unnatural, and I was like, yeah. But I mean, I thought it was brilliant editing. I mean, I was surprised. I wasn't expecting necessarily someone to have it, not to have it, because they really haven't shown anyone. But then to kind of like backwards play it a little bit, I was like, amazing. I'm like, good job. I'm like, this is wonderful.
Now I do worry for him a little bit now, just because there are 6 people that know that he has an idol, and I doubt he's told anyone on his tribe that he has it. So the first chance that one of those 6 people has to say, Nasir has an idol, did you know about it? Oy.
Well, he's not really that close with anybody though. So I wouldn't really, you could be
Fair.
like, oh, I found it this moment, like on this morning. Like,
Right. Does he owe anyone that
No.
knowledge? That's the question.
not at all.
Mhm.
Definitely doesn't know Sydney. I don't know his relationship with Heather at all.
Still makes him a target, but he
Best
doesn't. Like,
friends.
he's
Best
not
friends.
betraying anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of them would expect him to say anything, but they could use it as a reason to vote him out. I can see that for sure. So he does say that Nasir says that his daughter has been hiding idols for him in the backyard for him every day for him to find it. And so he knows that his daughter's going to be super excited about that. And it paid off his practice, which I thought was cute. And I laughed a lot. So sitting out of this immunity/reward challenge combo, Jonathan, were you upset by this? They're playing for a large tarp and a small tarp and immunity.
No, I was playing my game within a game. So
I didn't see it. Did I miss it?
yeah, I was at the challenge. Yeah.
How did I miss it again?
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
I could literally describe it to you. It's the word learning.
Curve.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, it's learning on a curve, actually? Like,
Yeah,
okay.
Learning, spelled out like that, yeah.
Did you ever, okay, it just reminded me now, play this game when you were younger, and it was a box of cards, and inside of it was all those things. It was called What's It, I think? What's It? And so it would be like, it'd have like all these little sayings, whatever, but it would be written in like all letters or whatnot, or like exactly like learning on a curve or learning curve or whatever. It's exactly like that, but it would just be different things, and you'd have to just like guess what it is. No?
The closest thing I had to that was like a thing that was connected on like, I don't know, something, and it would have like 1,000 different puzzles or something, and you would just I don't know, like I forget what it was called, but it was like a long, you could order from like Scholastic or something, and it would just be like almost like little cue cards or something, but they would be connected by a little like, not key ring or something, but like something like that, but plastic. And they would have different puzzles and stuff. I was all about puzzles.
I was all about puzzles
and rocks and
too.
sticks.
Oh, Jojo.
Remember those little books that you could like use the magic marker and would reveal?
Yeah.
And it would be different things. I used to play those all the time too.
Okay, this is what the box looked like.
No, I don't know that.
Was it? What's it?
No. And so it always had different like things that you had to guess. Let's see if I can show you one.
I haven't even heard of that.
I mean, I don't know what these answers are. I haven't looked at them, but like you'll have something like that, and you have to figure out what they are. And it's just like a whole
one square lunch, one square lunch. Is that a saying? One square lunch.
I don't think so.
Square.
Round the clock lunch, or I don't know.
CEO lunch? No.
No, because it doesn't spell one, does it? It's like lunch, and then what is it?
Those are two separate things.
Oh, the one at the bottom is over. Stop with the V. No, that's not stop. Over. What is it missing? V.
Oh.
Apparently, I'm
operation. Operation.
Missing operation.
Maybe ATION. Operation.
No, but it's not. You're not filling in the blanks. You're like trying to guess what the saying is. So it's gonna be like missing or space operation.
Oh, operation without pain.
I don't know about that. Is it? Oh, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. That's good.
I love that.
Let's see. Let's see if I can get into.
Or
Anyways,
painless operation.
there you
Painless
go. Oh, that sounds like it would
operation.
be. That's good, Jonathan. Anyways, it was like something I used to play all the time, and it'd just be like it's like a box of like just cards of just different ones like that you just me and my brother used to play all the time. Anyway, so learning curve is in the realm of those things. Maybe we should bust this out. That's what I'm going to. Thank you, thank you. We're gonna start playing this online. I think it's so fun. It's fun. What's it?
That is fun.
We're gonna have a game within a podcast.
Overstock? Yes. I don't know. Jonathan is on fire. It's his birthday. Oh, there you go, Whitney.
Box
lunch.
Very good. Very good. I mean, I haven't verified 100% that that's it, but that sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good to me. Anyways, so I guess I'm too old for you guys. Actually, no, my brother's your age, Jonathan, and so he played that with me. So it used to be at the
No
It
one's
store.
guessed my age yet. How old am I? Am I 19? Who knows? I'm 19.
My baby brother.
You're adopted because he's so young, baby brother.
So young. The mistake, brother, because he's so much younger than me that it was an accident. But it was at the It store. Do you remember the It store back in the day?
Yeah.
So that's where I think we got it, was from the It store. So, all right. So we do this challenge. As you said already, Jonathan, you were kind of underwhelmed by it for the fact that it's a similar thing. Run, do this.
I like them. I want other stuff too.
What I thought was cool, though, one thing that was a little bit different was how they had to untie the ropes at the end. And so they had to do like a puzzle to like unbraid it, which I thought that was innovative. That was new. And I was like, I hadn't seen that in any iteration of Survivor that I've seen recently.
It's just with these things too, it's like it all comes down to everything else just gets you a slight advantage to whatever the end thing is, which takes up the majority of the time. And it's whoever's good at that. And that's been what the challenges have been. So it's like, who's good at doing the alley-oop on the things? Who's good at, hitting those with the slingshot? Like it ultimately comes down to the one thing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else, like I said, is just do you have a minute advantage on it or, no advantage on it. So I don't know. I just want something different. Give me something. I enjoy them, but different, please.
I hear ya. Definitely hear ya. Well, with this though, so the team that had the advantage, it seems to have been Xander was the advantage in this round because he wins it for the team. They had to knock down these things, throw a sandbag and knock down a target. And Xander knocks down the target for Yase, so they are the first to win immunity. Then we are between Yua and Luvu, and we're not sure if Luvu's trying to throw this or not. And we see the slow-mo shot of Ricard throwing it, and it just skims over the top of their target and lands on the ground. We see Shan bow over in agonizing pain, and in that moment, Nasir knocks down their target, and Yua is going back to tribal council.
Well, they both still have their targets up. So, I mean, like the two targets were still up. So he hadn't even hit down the first one yet. So it was kind of like with the editing, I was like, you can't get the first one down. So it's not even like, they both have one left. It's like, no, one team hasn't hit either of them.
I was confused by that because I thought it was their last one. I was like, oh, wait, what's that other one there? I thought I was like, did they aim at the wrong one? And I was just confused. So that makes sense. So they still had two up and they're making it seem like it was close.
Yeah.
Not close.
Wasn't.
So poor thing. So Shan is upset by this, but with this comes another new advantage. And the winning tribe, Yase, gets to choose someone from their tribe and someone from the losing tribe to go on a walk. So were you surprised that it was Liana and Shan that was chose to go on this walk?
Not really, no. Out of the three, I think they probably thought Shan would be sticking around, so send the person that would be the safest bet. And Liana swooped in and she got some alone time with Shan.
Which was great.
Now, wouldn't you think that, I was hoping that they would send Jeannie because wouldn't you look at the person who you think's on the bottom and then decide to like throw them a bone, maybe to perhaps kind of put a kink into their plans and kind of just blow up that tribe or team, whatever you want to call it. So I was a little surprised that they went with Shan, who I agree. I think they thought that Shan was probably the most comfortable there. And I was like, why wouldn't you just kind of give it to the person you think's on the bottom?
I thought that they were going to give it to Jeannie, and I wasn't surprised that they gave it to Shan, just because I do think her likability is just, she vibes even if she hasn't met these people, it seems. But if it were me, I would be considering like putting the person that was most likely to be going home to give them the opportunity to maybe mess up whatever's going on with what the power dynamic is in the tribe. But then I was thinking that maybe though they're like, well, this is going to guarantee that Jeannie goes home, because those two would most likely strategize to get Jeannie out. And so maybe they're thinking that if they take Shan out of the equation, like maybe they'll turn on Shan. And if they think Shan is a threat, maybe they're trying to target her. Maybe.
Yeah. Or maybe they want to work with that tribe. There's 4 of them. There's going to be 2 people left from Ua. So maybe trying to make friends early isn't the worst idea.
And have an idea who might have advantages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Liana and Shan go on this, the summit walk up, the beautiful summit walk, and they actually had a really nice moment together. They do talk about Shan's mom, who has passed away in the last couple of years, and Shan cries with Liana about this, and they really bonded of being 2 Black women, and that they were going to be working together no matter what. And what I was thinking, I'm like, oh my God, people are going to be so up in arms because of like the cookout just happened. They're just going to be like, I'm wondering if it's going to happen. I think it's amazing that they're working together, absolutely, but I'm wondering if some of the fragile beings that watch these shows are going to be a little bit scared or like worried about like this happening again. 2 Black people going far in the game. How dare they? How dare they work together and try to make them have a better shot at winning? How dare they? I did love this. And I loved also seeing a little bit more of Shan's backstory. I know it's a little bit phoned in where it's like telling the actual story, but seeing where she came from, it made me really like Shan even more than I already did.
It's Shan Ivor. Like, the show is about Shan.
Has she ruined my chances of getting on the show?
No.
You just need to change your name.
Yeah, you're not going to go by Shan.
Should I go by Renee? Should I just go by my middle name?
Yeah.
There's never been a Renee that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
There's maybe a guy Renee, maybe?
I thought it was a really nice moment. I liked when Shan said, I've had 3 hours with her, and yet my connection is on a different level than it has with people that I've spent all these days with.
Yeah.
It just speaks kind of beyond the game and all that kind of stuff. And again, it was a way to put her story into it that, I don't know, it didn't seem very forced to me. I mean, listen, the one thing that I'm emotionless, but it gets me on mother-ish stuff, because I was also not raised by my mother, and my grandmother raised me, passed away at an early age. But so that kind of stuff definitely gets me when it comes up in reality television. I'm like, my one Achilles heel. But it was a really nice moment, and I was really into it, and I love them working together. That's my favorite. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of that in the future and how that develops.
Ooh,
definitely want to see how that develops. I'm hoping that, well, Shan, one thing that she said that I'm wondering if Liana picked up on, but Shan does say like, I will take you with me. And so I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
That it wasn't like we can work together and get to the end. It's like, no, I will take you to the end with me, which I felt was a very winner line. That was a winner's edit line to me.
Yes, but it could be a misstep with the wrong person. So if you have to be careful with how you talk about that, because someone could be rubbed the wrong way with like.
I don't even think Liana noticed.
She didn't. But you need to be inclusive and like we instead of like, no, don't worry, you can come with me. Kind of like so be careful. I'm always worried. Like Shan's like right at that line for me in a lot of ways. I'm like, don't go over it. Don't,
Be careful. It's so risky.
Yeah.
You have this in the bag. It's like,
She can't help herself.
It's
She
hurting.
really can't.
Yeah, but I'm like, she's walking on the edge, and I just want to like make sure that she doesn't fall over.
Absolutely. So just rewinding a little bit, Whitney says that the challenges have been really feeling generic for a while. Every time it's grab a bunch of bags and throw them. It's true. Whitney is agreeing with
why
you, John.
aren't they more creative with that? Because you can be, you have been previously, and
maybe because they have one less day to create a challenge. I don't know.
I would love to. Maybe I should dig into that, see if anyone's talked about it. But I wonder why it's all kind of the same old, same old.
And Whitney says also the slow motion of Ricard throwing the bag was really just a lot.
They love
Whitney
the
is
slow motion
not
this
enjoying
season.
this season. Sorry?
They love the slow motion this season. They love like those moments of like
they're playing around with these things for sure.
Yeah.
Slow motion. I like the slow motion. I like the rewind to the past. Like, yeah, they're doing some good editing things.
Flashbacks.
I find. Ooh, Jenny Burke. Jonathan, happy birthday,
Jenny,
sweet.
Oh,
I don't know Jenny.
You don't know Jenny?
I don't think so.
Toronto icon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nice to meet you, Jenny. Thanks for being here. Says you three are fab together.
Jenny,
well, thanks, Jenny. You can always join.
please.
You can always stay. Thank you. Laura says, I too thought that they would have given it to Jeannie. Yes, just to get her out so that they have the alone time to talk. They put Michelle and Michelle on back-to-back seasons. You're fine. But Michelle didn't win the second one. Like, I'm just, right? Like,
fair enough.
Man. Okay, so to be clear, I do love this season, and just not the producer's choices during said season. Too many twists. It's an amazing cast, so let them play. With you, 100% Whitney. Totally agree here. So what I thought was great, though, that Shan did with Liana at the top of the summit was she said that I need my vote, so you can risk your vote. I want to let you have it. I want you to have this. And so she needed her vote. She only has 3 people at Tribal. She can't have it to be 1-1. And so she lets Liana know that she is going to be able to get this advantage, which I thought that was very smart.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So they go, anything else?
No, I agree. I think that's more of the like we're working together kind of a moment that Shan really needs to do. It's like, yeah, so good.
So Liana goes back to camp at Tree Mill. She's going to find out if she does or does not get the advantage. We know that she does. And what do we think about this new advantage? I roll. Okay, so basically it's knowledge is power advantage. And you have the ability to ask at Tribal, a person of your choosing, either do you have an advantage or do you have an idol? So if you ask the person that has an advantage if they have an idol or vice versa, they could say no. But they have to say yes if you ask the right person the right question and they do, in fact, have whatever you ask them. They have to give it to you. So what do we think about this? Garbage.
I have a feeling that you guys aren't going to like it, but I do. Although it took me a minute to absorb and understand fully because I was like, why is this so confusing? But I mean, I totally get it. I like it. A lot of these types of things you do find on like online orgs, a very similar kind of actual, advantages and whatnot. And it's not the easiest one to pull off, and it's not too much of a gimme. So I kind of like it. You have to kind of. The thing is people are going to be, if this is something that recurs, people are going to be more cautious of it. But the first time it happens, because no one knows it's in play and no one knows that exists, it might be a real kind of sideswipe moment. So it could be interesting. I like it, and I know you don't, and I know you don't.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
You don't mind it? Because you both look like you're like really tentative with it, but I like it.
I don't mind it. I think for this season, I don't mind it. But I think going forward, it's going to make people a little more worried to let others know that they have an idol. So they might keep the idol to themselves.
That's what I'm saying. So all this is what my problem is with all these trinkets, doodads, like, is that it actually stops people from actually playing the game because they're worried that something's going to come out and sideswipe them. Like, I hated the idol nullifier, like garbage, because it's like, okay, like I found an idol, I'm using it to my advantage, potentially. Maybe I'm building some bonds with some people. And then somebody gets like a super idol and gets to take away my idol if they know about it. And so I think that it just makes people to hold their cards closer to their vest instead of people playing and getting caught in certain things and making these big moves or whatnot. And so I think that that's what's really annoying.
But I think like, and I've seen this play out in orgs. So it's like, I think that's part of the game. I think part of the game is deciding who you can tell and balancing and finessing that kind of like, damn, I have these things. These people are going to be mad if they don't know it. But at the same time, I can't tell them because there might be these things out there nullifying my vote or like stealing my vote, nullifying my idol, stealing my idol now. I like different elements to that. I mean, don't play them all at once. Don't have them all kind of in play at one time and get very messy. But
Did you like Advantage Get In?
It could be. So like,
did you like it though? Did you enjoy that?
No, I don't.
Three got idled out of the game for all these fancy idols and advantage and steal a vote.
I like when there's like one or two mixed in. I don't like when there's a whole bunch. I don't mind like an episode a season where everything seems to come into play. I like that expiration on things happen at different times. So I feel like maybe if you have certain things in the beginning of a game while you're different, teams, and then like maybe things that are while you're merged, things expiring at different times, just to kind of spread it out. But I like the fact that they keep you on your toes and have different things that you need to be careful of.
One of the things that I feel like I don't like it specifically for this season is that they forced all these players now to, I know it says beware, but of course everybody's going to open this damn package. And so they know the three people that have said this phrase now. And so whoever gets this advantage are going to know, and it's going to be emerged next episode most likely, or in a way that it seems like they're going to be living on the same camp or something like that, that they're going to know three people that they're going to be able to ask if they have an idol when they go to tribal. And so I just think it's just kind of like made it really obvious also that like, oh, well, I know that Shan said the phrase as well as Xander said the phrase and Nasir said the phrase. So I know that all three of them have an active idol right now. And so I would go and choose one of those three people. So I just think that the show made it very obvious who they can target with this advantage. If it was hidden and nobody knew about it, I could maybe get behind it a little bit more, but it seems like the show is setting up these three people to have their idols stolen after they just spent however much time without a vote.
I mean, the juxtaposition of having one right after the other kind of a thing is unfortunate, but at the same time, that's part of it. It's like, do you want to put yourself out there and steal someone's vote? I mean, you are making, or like idol, you are making an enemy. So if you're going to steal it, you better make sure that they're going to go home. So do you target those people? Do you wait? Do you hold on to it? I mean, it comes into many different things. Does it make those three people a target? Absolutely. But it was kind of easy for them to like find that portion of the idol anyway. Yes, did they go through not having a vote and all that stuff? Absolutely. I don't know. It adds different elements. I don't mind it. I wish it happened a little bit more spread apart. Sure. But
I just think that the show is like, okay, like it's really exciting to see someone lose their vote. And like, I don't really
forcing gameplay. They're forcing,
but it's not gameplay that's like interesting. I don't find like I don't think it's going to be interesting necessarily. Maybe in the tribal council when they actually like take the vote, the whatever the advantage or the idol away from somebody. Okay, like maybe that will be fine. But I think I just don't know if it has longevity past that one moment. I don't think it's going to be that valued, like that worth it in the end. So like just one time. Uno momento. So Whitney agrees here. I do think that the TV moment of having to confront someone could be really fun. Doris says, but I took it as
no,
that Dolores, person lies, it deactivates whatever power they might have. No. If they don't ask the correct question to the right person, then the person can say like, no, I do not. And that's it.
You have to tell the truth. You don't have an option of lying.
Facebook user, I'm not sure who this is, but if you want to know, have your name up here, you'd have to just allow Facebook to use StreamYard. So Facebook user says in a season where it's so obvious who has idols and where the players had to work hard to get them in the first place, it's a trash advantage. You kick ass, Chantele. I'm like, whoever it is, I love you. Thank you. The exact wording is they are not allowed to lie.
Yeah, I think you're just. I think like people are. I can see it from your perspective. You're like, oh, that's kind of garbage. But I just look at it as all the different, opportunities that could be had that are very different that you haven't seen in the game before. It's forcing people to make decisions, make potential enemies, stuff like that. And we haven't seen that play out yet. So watch it play out, then decide if it's trash or not. But
I don't even like the receipt of it, though. You know what I mean? Like that's also part of the game.
I like it, and I'm open to kind of just seeing.
Well, it's kind of like we might as well. Someone was calling this like, oh, it's Survivor Dora the Explorer, right? It's like, oh, I found a booby trap. Oh, I found a lie. Oh, I found that's kind of what it's become. And I think it should be maybe like Survivor adjacent, not the game of Survivor, because I don't even like idols. So I would like it to go back to bare bones. But that's just me, old school. Okay, let's get back to the end of this episode. So while Shan is on her summit walk, Ricard is throwing Shan under the bus to Jeannie, but this is all a big lie. Now, I was worried for Ricard here because I'm like, if he does it too well, Shan is a little bit paranoid. And, we did hear her say to Liana that, like, if I'm not here, that means that, Ricard is my number one, and that means he screwed me over. So she has him, right here, but she is still a little bit worried about him. And so the fact that he's saying this to Jeannie, who is obviously at one point going to tell Shan everything. I was worried for Ricard. Were you guys as well or no?
No, I thought Jeannie was a dead woman walking. And I thought maybe tonight's the night that she's going to roll that die. Maybe she'll be the person to do it. And I was kind of disappointed that she wasn't, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Shan and Ricard discussed it and knew exactly what they're going to do. And they have to sell it, both of them, and they'd both be crazy not to, on some level, not trust each other fully. That's the thing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure.
I just have to say, I love these small tribals. I loved having only 3 people there. I thought it was really exciting. There was something about it. Like, I love that. I love the season that of Denise and Malcolm, like their entire tribe getting decimated, and they just had to merge into another tribe of 8 or whatever it was, or 12. I love small tribals. I thought it was really exciting.
So what you're saying is you want to see a 2-person.
Yeah, I want to see a 2-person tribal. I want to see Stephanie and Bobby John just show up. Yeah, 100%.
So when Shan returns from the summit, she, comes back to Ricard and to Jeannie, and they both are fighting for time with Shan. They want to really discuss, what had happened. And so Jeannie wants to talk to Shan first. And so Gina goes and tells Shan everything about what Ricard was saying, that he was throwing Shan under the bus. So Shan, maybe she's playing the role. That's possible. But she was feeling, at least to her confessionals, was like, I'm kind of a little bit worried about Ricard. So I'm going to ask Ricard for the extra vote back. I was like, oh my God, I think it's a bad move to go and ask that for the vote back. Because in a game where you want people to trust you and think that you trust them, and this is supposed to be your number one, and I thought it was really risky.
The best is Picard's like, wait a minute, didn't we just come up with this plan with how you were going to say this to JD? Like, didn't we just do this? I know, yes, but it's
oh my God.
I thought they both
trust you, but you can't trust me. Like, it was just didn't make sense. And I was like, dicey.
I mean, I think they both played it pretty poorly, though, to be honest. I think Shan shouldn't have asked. She should have waited till the next day. I think Ricard could have said, well, you have the idol. I'll take the extra. We can both have something. Let's just, let's be equals here, girl. nip it in the butt
Well, he
right
kind of
away.
did say that. He kind of did
But
say,
then
he's like,
but then he told her like maybe you should use your idol then.
I
Like
thought that was
a little
hilarious. I was like
Loved
obsessed.
it.
I'm like, he's like, if you don't
Love it.
trust me, then use that idol. She's like, but the idol's supposed to be for us. Like when we get to the merge, is like, and I was
Okay.
like, she brought it up though. She brought this up because this wasn't anything that he seemingly wasn't wavering at all, and she was the one that was getting paranoid and worried. And so she put him in this position where he's like, wait, why are you pushing so hard to get this advantage back from me so you can vote me out? Like, I need to have some security here. I think that he played it decently well for the fact that she put him in that position, right? She shouldn't have been asking at all.
No.
Like, she had
The
to
next
just
day,
like, either
sure,
vote him out or like trust him.
Yeah, I think he did promise to give it back. He did throw that out there, but at the same time, it's like, give it some breathing room, realize the situation. Like, it's the two of you right now. The idol's important. The extra vote's important. You've been a duo all along. Just stick with the plan.
So wait, so
Simple as
Jojo,
that.
so if you were Ricard then, so how would you have played this situation better? Me, Shan, my mom calls me Shan.
You want the vote back?
I'm Jojo.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just feeling a little bit paranoid right now, and so will you give me back the vote that I put in all that work with JD to get from him?
I think we both put in the work. I think you've got the idol, and I'm gonna hold on to the vote for now.
But I've been seeing, like, you and Jeannie spent the whole day together. It's so easy for you guys to vote me out now. How do I know that you're not going to do that?
I'm voting you out now. Kidding. I don't know. I think it's just like hold on to the effing vote and be like, let's play as equals here. Yeah. I'm keeping the vote. You have the idol.
I will say to both of their games is that they left someone like Jeannie in with them who isn't really gonna sway their paranoia, because if it was someone else who's really potentially convincing, who knows what could happen with 3 people left in a tribe, you know what I mean? And so they left someone who's kind of like the least likely to come up with their own plan, you know what I mean? And have a realization of where they are with the other 2. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that, like Jeannie kind of like maybe pull one of them aside and get them to turn on the other.
Well, she thought she did. So Dolores says that Dolores was dying on that. It clearly shows the difference between a young kid being told the exact same line and an adult, and a true adult. So absolutely, like we just put how Ricard handled the situation, and JD was like, "Oh yeah, here, you take the vote back, bye." And Ricard's like, "No, I'm not going to let that happen. No. I'm not that. Even whether or not you're going to vote me out or not, I definitely, the fact that you're asking for it, I'm definitely not going to give it to you." Like, and she could have maybe even asked and just be like, "Oh, can I have my vote back?" Like, not even like preface it with her being paranoid. Maybe he would have done it.
Yeah, I don't think she had any reason to be paranoid with Jeannie. Jeannie has voted for Ricard in the past. I don't think there's any blood lost there. And she's 100% in the power seat and should have felt that. I think so anyway. I feel like I would have felt really confident being Shan.
Dolores felt that Ricard played it right. I think he did the best that he could with that set of cards. If I was Ricard, I would have just say, you can have the vote if I can have the idol. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Keep it light.
For now, you know. Dolores, Jojo, Chantele, she would never turn on you.
Never.
I probably would not. Yes. Okay, so I thought it was still really fun, like that conversation back and forth. Like it was pretty messy. Like I was like, oh my God, is their friendship going to be messed up? But like you have to have someone that you trust in the game of Survivor. Like I just didn't see it being more valuable for either of them to turn on each other and take Jeannie instead. She wasn't someone that you could strategize with very well. She wasn't necessarily a loyal member. She was useful in the sense around camp, but I just don't think the value of Jeannie to in a duo is as valuable as Shan and
I
Ricard
think
together.
the only benefit is you're less of a threat come like any sort of merge, and that's a valid game plan too, is kind of being a single individual or with someone who's weaker and kind of trying to maneuver your way to the end amongst a majority group.
Yep.
True. Okay, so is that it? That pretty much happened before we got there. So we get to tribal council. Jojo, you already mentioned that you love a tribal council of 3. Like, what if they did tribal councils in like when you're in a tribe of 9, it would just be like in groups of 3s and then like shuffled around in like other groups of 3 and just like.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but during Australian Survivor in the last season, the very first tribe that went to tribal, one person had an advantage where they could tell 5 people they could leave. And it was incredible. It was amazing television. He stood up, picked himself, and then picked all the people that probably would have been voted out that night. And was like, okay, we can all go back to camp. Things like that. Amazing. Love twists like that.
I can deal with a twist like that because it's not like a booby trap.
It was like a tribal of 5, like 5 people that were left, and they were just looked at each other like, oh crap, one of us is going. Like, what do we do? Do we make this 3-2, 4-1? Like, it was just beautiful. So I like small tribals.
I totally agree with you that would be a really fun to witness. So obviously it was a typical tribal council though, with like the questioning from Jeff, but Jeff also says, so what's the blood pressure right now? What's the blood pressure? And I'm just like, he just really wanted to say that line. He's like, how am I going to fit this in here? Was there any other amazing points about tribal council other than what's the blood pressure right now?
No, I think it would have been really anxious and just wanted to start the vote and been like, let's get this over with. Come on, Jeff, ready to vote.
I do love though that Shan says, the power of the vote is more important than the shot in the dark, and she's just like kind of laying it on thick there to just remind Jeannie to not play that shot in the dark and just stick to the plan. Even though like Jeannie's witnessed every single round that like somebody needed to use that shot in the dark and they didn't. The fact that she doesn't think that it's her and none of the other 2 are going up to use it, I would have been worried. I'd be like, oh, or I guess no, she wouldn't have known if they did or not. But like, I don't know. I wouldn't have felt safe if I was Jeannie at all.
I think that's a great player though, is taking a question from Jeff and then turning it around, making it vague enough, but still like having it pointed at one person. And that person knows you're talking about them. That person.
I don't know if Jeannie did. I don't think Jeannie did. I think Jeannie maybe thought that she was talking to Ricard.
God. Maybe. Well, probably, because she probably thought that her and Shan were voting together. Yeah.
Nope. So I definitely, at this point, I thought that Shan was staying with Ricard, and that they were going to vote Jeannie out. And when I saw Jeannie's name came up first, I was like, yes, Jeannie is going to, not yes, like I want Jeannie to stay, but someone has to go from that tribe. So yes, Jeannie was voted out. Shan did not vote out Ricard. She votes out Jeannie. So Jeannie is gone, and that's the end of the episode. What were your overall thoughts? Anything else you want to share? Did we miss anything?
I thought it was a great episode.
I wish there was a tease of like the dice was going to be rolled or something. I think that there's a missed opportunity. Like you could have somehow edited like a little tease of that, but
sure.
But yeah, I mean, I was really entertained with it. It was really all about them. Like those 3 were the star of the episode, like really, and for the most part, I guess. And it was. I mean, Shan was the star, obviously, but it's going to be really interesting, and it makes me want to see the next episode, which is like a key factor in a good episode is like when you're like dying to see what's going to happen next, right?
Yeah.
So, like what's going to happen, how this is. I can't wait to see Ricard and Shan with other people and see how it's received, how their interactions are going, like all of it. Definitely.
One thing though, I'm just trying to think how the shot in the dark is going to work, because I think we joked about it before. It's like, oh, you hear the person rolling, like, like, while like the tribal council, like it's in earshot. It seems like, anyways, from the edit. So I'm wondering if what they should have done is had everybody either choose to roll an empty die or roll the shot in the dark, and so you always hear the die roll, and so you're always like, oh my god, everybody rolled it.
Things and like. I've played enough games with die, and if you have a padded thing, even if it's right in front of you, it doesn't make any sound. So I don't think they'll hear it.
What if it rolls off the table and like down?
Corners, like a padded little box with like corners and like edges and stuff like that they play on like Dungeons and Dragons or something. I don't play those, but
I've played Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
I'm confused by the mechanics of it. Like, do you know that you're safe before you go and take your seat, or is Jeff the one that takes out
the one that reveals it? I think.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm not 100% sure.
We have to have it happen.
I know, but I don't know if it's good. Maybe when we get to merge, it will happen. So Jojo said, Jonathan said, oh my goodness, I can't talk. Dolores says, Jojo, I love Australian Survivor. He is one of the best players. George.
Oof. George.
I've only watched the very first challenge of that season so far. Jeannie said in her exit interview that she thought she was tight with Shan. Yeek.
Everyone does.
If you think you've ever had a 1 in 5 shot of getting Shan's vote to stay, that's still better odds than the shot of Stark. You're right, Whitney. You were right. I want to see Shan played against Sydney. Yeah, I'm curious to see how their dynamic will.
But it's like if you're down to 3, the likelihood of you survive, like making it to a place where you're that certain that you're going again, is not very likely. So just like roll the die anyway. I mean, I wouldn't be saving it if I was Jeannie. I thought that's kind of, I mean, sure, could you like merge and then them decide to pick you 3 off? But like, what's the likelihood of that? So, I mean, you'll never, if you go and come merge or something, you're probably not going to know it. And I would have just been like, oh, I have a 1 in 3 chance of going right now. This is probably the highest chance I have of going that I'm aware of. I'm rolling that die.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. I would have rolled that die. So
if David was still here, he would have rolled that die. I'm just telling you, he knows percentages. So
yep.
I would have rolled in a tribe of 3. Yeah. Like anything could have happened. They could have.
I would have made both of them. I would have made everyone else roll their die, and I would be the one vote.
Ooh.
Gladly. Like, you should roll. You should roll too. Both of you.
I would totally roll. Jojo would do that. If it was just 3 of us, I'd be rolling. I don't trust you. I don't trust him.
Good. And I'd be like, I'm voting bye.
He would.
Like, who can I win against? Shit. I don't know.
Well, this is everything that we got for you today. Sorry, we ended up talking for a long time. I don't know how we dragged out that episode to like an hour and a half, but it was fun, of course. You guys,
are we gonna chat about what
next episode?
Happening?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know.
Okay, so the next episode, it looks as though they are dropping their buffs, but Jeff is not saying that it's merge. So my speculation is that it's going to be 2 tribes, 1 beach. That's my thought.
But that's definitely happened before.
Do you think it will be like everybody shuffled up, or do you think it'll be Luvu against the other 2 tribes combined?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe it'll be like you come to the challenge and you pick your tribes at the challenge, or it's all random from here on out. That would be kind of fun. It's like you show up to the mini challenge, you take a buff, you take a buff, you take a buff, you take a buff. These are your teams. Good luck. See who's immune by the end of this.
Jonathan, do you have any thoughts?
No. I didn't play my game within a game this week, so I don't know what the hint is.
Oh, true.
Right.
True. Do you want to do that now? Or
I think anything could happen. So, I mean, but I think it would make it like fair. I think it would be like more like a random kind of a situation more than anything else. Yeah.
Dolores' speculation is the only people dropping their buffs will be Shan and Ricard.
Ooh.
But like,
So
what?
Shannon Ricard just going directly over. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so
Like, what justifies that? Like, there's like because you're on a team of two. Like, there's no
and just
justification.
become Yase.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair to me. Like, it seems like something that Andrew would make up. I mean, so it would be something that you just, kind of like seemingly like a producer would just like decide. So I don't know if that's fair. I feel like it would be like a even kind of everyone drop your buffs, keep that kind of standard, like whether it's 2, whether it's 3, whether it's a shared beach or not, who knows? But I don't think they would do an unfair kind of absorb only because you have 2 people left, and I don't know.
So Whitney says, what's the thing that's going to annoy fans the most?
6 tribes of 2.
I would love
Yeah,
to.
that's
6
literally
tribes of
what I was
2.
thinking.
Probably that then.
You're duos now. Congrats. This is the race.
Could they switch into 6 tribes of 2? That's fun.
I'm living for it. I want to see it.
I like that. All living on one beach, 6 tribes of 2.
How many tribes win immunity?
1. No, joke. Well, I mean, it would have to be
3?
I don't know.
Have 6 people go to tribal?
And then you all vote. And
try and get a 4 to 2?
4 people, 8 people to tribal, 4 people safe, 2 teams safe, 4 people safe.
Oh, frig.
I don't know. I don't mind this, Whitney. So can you think of something worse? Because that's not the worst. I think
what's
the
worse
would be. I don't know what the worst would be.
Probably 6 tribes of 2. That'd be pretty crappy.
Yeah, not sure. Okay, so Natalie says, does anyone know what happened to the Survivor producer that killed his wife? I don't.
Yikes.
I blocked this out. I don't remember this.
No.
Natalie, no, but I'll investigate for next week. The Survivor does it really have to be fair? That's true. At this point, you're not even allowed to lie. That's true.
Yeah, I just don't think they would like make it seem as unfair, like heavily influenced by producers as kind of that. So not that it's fair. It's just it would make it more obvious.
Yeah.
I did Tribes of 2 once and in Oregon. Sucked. Okay, that's fair. Worst would be everything shuts down and there's a COVID exposure. That would be the worst. That would be the worst. Well, okay, so we did speculate. Did you get your fix on what we think speculated for next week, Jojo?
Yeah.
You're good?
All right. I got my fix.
Well, love you guys for chatting about this. Thanks everybody in the chat room for contributing to our discussions today. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Reality Realness with 3 S's. Like this video if you're watching this after the live broadcast. And what question do we want people to answer this week? What do we want to know about? Who do you think is the better player between Ricard and Shan? That's one question I'd like to hear people's thoughts on.
Where are Heather and Erica?
Who?
Who is right?
Exactly.
Who?
I didn't pull up our drafts, but nobody lost to anybody on our draft this week because Jeannie was undrafted. So we're still all doing pretty well. I don't think most
I feel
of
like that's our last undrafted person,
yeah.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Done.
Correct.
That's amazing.
That's really good, though. I think we did a pretty good job. Like Sarah was a little bit of a shocker. We didn't expect her to go out first, but we had Boche wasn't drafted, Eric wasn't drafted, and now Jeannie wasn't drafted. So going in the top 5, that's pretty good. That we didn't drop them. So pats on our backs here. Any other questions we should get the peoples to answer?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in hearing what they think next week will be as far as like the tribe split or merge or anything like that. So for sure.
Yes.
Let us know if you have any additional thoughts or any worst case scenarios that you don't want to see.
Yes. Oh, yeah. What's the worst case scenario? What is the worst possible twist that they could do to warrant Jeff it's not really a merge. So let's see what happens. But that's all we got for you today. We will see you guys all next week. Thank you for being here and joining us. Until next week.